So I do a lot of puns. You know this. I know a lot of jokes in sign language, and I guarantee nobody's heard them. And did you know the first alphabet only had 25 letters? I found this out the other day because nobody knew why.
Just going to sigh heavily into the microphone for a minute.
I thought because the angel of the Lord came down and said Noel.
That's 24 letters. Shit. Oh, dear.
This just in,
yeah.
Film at 11.
Anyway, hello, everybody, and welcome to the Black Dog version 2. I've got to stop saying version 2. Just Black Dog episode 105. I'm Lee.
I'm Darren.
I'm Jim.
And no Elton this week. He's off for reasons and destinations unknown. Probably
hopefully not down a well.
Yeah, hopefully not down a well, and hopefully not doing part of Great British Bake Off, making little flower voodoo dolls. But we'll get to that in a minute. Anyway, so welcome, and yes, he's away. He'll be back next week, just in time for the Indeterminate Weeks of Horror. Though I think partly we've kind of already started it. To be honest, we didn't open this, so. Yeah, there you go. Six episodes. 6 episodes in a 4-week series of horror. It sounds about right for us, doesn't it?
It does. We just started early this year.
By 2 weeks.
Isn't it sponsored by King Edward's as well?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Actually, thinking about it.
Fried potatoes.
Yeah, get sponsorship. Actually, thinking about it, even with I Came By, I mean...
Well, yes.
I mean, I think
Autumn has come early this year.
Yeah, and Possum. And Possum and Ninth Configuration.
Oh, fucking hell.
Event Horizon. We've been doing Horror October for 8 weeks. We ain't even started.
Cool, you
it's Horrorception
and thrills.
Wow. Yeah, Dreamscape, I guess, is The Endless. I mean, you know, Endless Possum, Ninth Configuration, Event Horizon. I Came By. Nope. I mean, we can pretty much call October done. We ain't even got there yet.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we can do pet films in November.
Oh no, not pet films. No, they always end up dead. It's the rule. I can't take dying animals. I can't do it anymore.
Oh, there's me going to put John Wick on the card for that one then. Yeah.
Well, you can do that, I guess. Anyway, we're gonna carry on with Indeterminate Weeks of Horror then, I guess, as we review this week's movie, which is Jim's choice, which is
Tumbbad.
Not too bad. Tumbbad. We'll get to that in a bit, but first we'll see how everyone's week's been, and we'll start with you, Jim, as ever. How has it been, sir?
Eventful.
Basically,
last Tuesday, I hung up the headphones after midnight. Right time to get to bed. And that didn't really happen. And long story short, it ended with 3 police cars and 6 policemen coming after I called them just to deal with my fucking neighbours at 3 a.m.
Oh, God. Okay.
What? So just a bit of backstory. The house next door had been empty for quite a while, which was lovely. And then a new fella bought it, a chap called Ted, and he was working on the house, doing it for quite a while. Coincidentally, while I was doing up my friend's old house. So, and he said he was renting it out, and we could get on very well with Ted. He's a nice sort of nice guy. Anyhow, he finished doing it up, and in December, a lady and her young son, moved in. And that was very nice. She was very nice. That was all good. Not a problem. Fine. And being to visit. It's nice to have neighbours again, actually. And it's nice to have nice neighbours. However, in the summer, she got a boyfriend.
Okay.
Who was a dickhead. And those, frankly, very dubious people. And so in the summer, we had a series of incidents of people turning up at a house in the middle of the night and loud music. So, you know, we had a word, and Ted went round and gave her a warning, so I knock it off.
Mm.
And she said, yes, I know it's getting out of hand and you're going to give him the flick.
Yeah.
It went quiet. She didn't give him the flick. And a couple of weeks it started noise started happening again. And it kind of culminated last Tuesday where basically, while I've been recording, she could hear like shouting next door.
Yeah.
We heard them come upstairs to bed. There was more like another round shouting and banging door, then went downstairs. And it was literally just people shouting the tops of the voices. At 2:30, we rang the police and said, yeah, enough's enough.
Yeah.
So basically, I called Ted again, and Ted was kind of, who is this guy? I'll see to him. Because Ted's a builder, and I think Ted knows people.
Oh yeah, most builders do. I don't want to cast aspersions, but most builders do have that.
He knows Tommy. He does. He knows Tommy. TV's Tommy.
He said,
Tommy.
He said, we'll do this all nice and legal, and if that doesn't work, I might take the sideways approach. Fair enough. I said nothing.
Yeah, we know nothing.
Did nothing. But anyhow, it has gone all very quiet since then, and basically one more incident, and bam, it's good night Vienna.
Right.
The dickhead boyfriend might find he ends up going for a ride in a cement mixer.
Either that, or he might disappear, and there may be a new wall in the living room.
Well,
you know what I mean?
You just don't know.
Yeah. This is a shorter room than it once was. Yeah, isn't it? Yeah.
Hey,
that's right. Well, now I don't know what you mean.
Yeah, that's unusual to have a concrete patio like that.
Especially on the first floor. Yeah.
Nice.
So yes, that was fairly overly eventful, really. Basically, I said the other thing, which I will, I'll bring up in the interest of public service, in case anyone else has to go through this to put their mind at rest. But
okay.
Earlier this year, I started getting chest pains, so I went to see my doctor, put me on statins, and booked me in for some, tests to see if everything's all right.
Right.
I've had a few, and then last week I got caught. After about waiting a month or so, I had to go up to Durham for the full CT scan, which is the full, basically huge X-ray cross-section thing.
Mm-hmm.
I've never had this done again before, but I think it's amusing enough to tell you about. Because basically, you'll see it's like a big circular, hoop. When you lie on the table, it comes over you. And the thing is, before I went in, the nurse said, right, it's going to do this. He said, there's a thing on the machine. It'll tell you to breathe in, hold your breath, then breathe normally. Just keep your eye on that and do what it says. Don't take a big breath. Just a little breath. Okay, right. He said, now, the thing is, we will put a cannula in your arm, and we'll put some dye in so they can actually see stuff going around your system. And I said, yeah, fine. I'm not scared of needles and that, not a problem.
No.
But she said, the thing is, though, he said, it does have some weird side effects. I was, oh, really? I said, yeah. She says, well, you'll feel very warm. Then you'll get a taste in your mouth like Victory V's or the mouthwash at the dentist.
Oh, God.
And she said, but then after that, the last side effect is you'll feel like you've wet yourself. But don't worry, you haven't.
Okay.
I was going, what, really? Anyway, so I went in this thing, it's like, breathe in, breathe out, and this thing's going up and down, and then they putting the dye in. Okay, cool. And it's like, oh yeah, it's quite nice and warm actually. But then literally, oh yeah, that Victory V taste, and then yep, bloody hell, I've not pissed myself off. It was a weird, and then I was glad you told me because it really felt like you had. It's a really strange illusion, but you're actually bone dry and you're fine.
Oh,
but yeah, that was quite strange and surreal, and I had to keep because you're supposed to keep still, so I was trying not to laugh when. But if you have to have one done, do beware of that and don't worry about it. It is absolutely fine. You will not mess yourself.
Okay, if I have to have that and I do piss myself, I'm coming back to a complaint in the strongest possible terms, Mr. Moon.
Yes, you'll get some strongly worded feedback to your podcast, Jim.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll regret not taking up those tenor men that usually get sent through to me on my birthday from a friend of ours who keeps signing me up for such things. Right. Okay. Right. So
handy to know things before you go.
So do I? Is it okay to ask if everything's all cool, or is it best not ask?
I had a phone call today, and I have to go back for another one.
Oh.
As apparently I have a nodule in my lung.
Oh,
but the nurse says this is quite common.
Right.
But it's just to check. I mean, they've not said come tomorrow now. So,
well, that's a start.
Yeah. So we'll see. But she's because they do like a full section. I mean, I went for my heart, but they check everything else.
Mm.
But she said 2 out of 3 people we call back just because we've seen something and we just want to check it out.
Nice. Well, fingers crossed.
Yeah,
fingers crossed it's all good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well.
So yes, an eventful week. I think we're going to go away for the weekend now.
Yeah, go and have a lie down.
Just have a nice bit of peace and quiet.
Jesus. Okay. Right.
Yeah, so somewhat of a stressful week, really.
God. Okay. Right. Well. Yeah. Well, I'll stop you from talking too much. I don't want to cause you any further distress. But we'll move on then to you, Darren. How are you doing then?
Oh yeah, all right. Thanks. Let's see. What have I done this week? Well, not really gone out, but I've watched quite a bit of stuff this week. Mainly finished my watch of The Boys. Mm-hmm. I love that show. I've got to say,
it's great, isn't it?
It just gets it gets more bonkers as it goes along, and it's definitely a hold my drink show.
Yeah, I told you about the episode 1 though, didn't I? You said
yes,
about heroism.
Yes,
I said no. Episode 1.
It's like I'll never look at Ant-Man the same way. So yeah. Trust me, ladies and gentlemen, that's not really giving away.
No.
That's not really giving away anything. It's like describing a truck by just saying tyres, right? That's it. It's like I've not given anything away about a truck with that review of a truck.
Anything you can imagine isn't nearly enough. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. I'm just, where it's going to go from here. I don't quite know. I mean, I do hope they keep the dark humor running through it, but I've got an idea that dark humor might be in short supply next season.
No.
Yeah, I don't know so much.
No,
I don't know.
We'll see because we'll be watching it simultaneously now, I suspect.
Right. Well, I've got one butcher phrase as well, which I keep hearing in my head, which was, "There's no happy endings. This ain't that kind of massage parlor." That. Oh, what's the other one? What did I tell you? What was my advice to you, young man? Don't be a cunt. Yeah, don't be a cunt.
Yeah. Well, that's just general advice, though, isn't it? I think at this point
it is. Yes, yes. So, The Boys, just consistently good fun, really is, and shocking at the same time, but in a good way. Not for those faint-hearted individuals, really.
No.
But there you go. So, yes, moving on to the other piece of TV that I watched, which I was glad to see, which was free on BBC iPlayer, which is Superman and Lois season 2.
Really?
I love that show.
Okay.
It is one of the best Superman shows I think I've seen, which is surprising considering that it takes place just around Smallville itself. Now, I know we've already had a Superman show based in Smallville, but I don't know what it is. Exactly. Something I was a big fan of at one point. And, I used to have Smallville Sundays where I'd just get the box sets and just burn through about 7 or 8 episodes. Mm-hmm. So this show, I really like it. It's got, I'm not sure what it is about it. Season 2 has got even better.
Okay.
I think with the intro of, I mean, this has been all over the place, but I'll say it now. Cover your ears just for a second.
Go on.
The character of Bizarro. Now, this character's been in many different forms in various different Superman formats. None of them really getting it. Yeah, none of it really doing their version. That doesn't quite think. This one, though, is quite terrifying to look at.
Yeah.
It's, he's not stupid like the one from the comics. And he does have a reason for being here when he turns up. But he does do the whole thing of, like, the sun makes him weaker rather than stronger like Superman. He's got fire breath and cold vision. So it is a complete reverse of that character. It is, like I say, it's not the same as the one in the comics, but I do really like what they did with him.
Yeah.
So I thought it was actually Doomsday. When you first see him, you think it's Doomsday that has appeared because no, he looks like the one from because it appears in this suit and it looks like the one that Doomsday appears in the comics originally before they revealed that it's like, bone protrusions and stuff. So it's great. I love it. Really, really good show. Nice. It's nothing too, it's not going to work your intellect or anything like this, but it is just, I love it. I think it's good entertainment. So I've burned through that one as well now. So I've gone from one end of the scale with the boys to Superman and Lois, which is the other end.
Yes.
So yeah.
Okay.
So there's that. So and so what we done on the film front this weekend was I watched 3 Marvel films because we're making sure Ree's caught up with everything. We've been slowly going through the various Marvel movies. And we watched Black Panther,
right,
Ragnarok, and Thor, Thud and Chunder.
Why?
Otherwise known as Thor, Love and Thunder. Well, look, you know what? Sometimes when I watch a movie and I don't like it, I watch it a second time and realise, I was wrong. Obviously, I was feeling a bit off at the time, right? I had this with Mad Max Fury Road. Hated it first time I saw it. Loved it when I watched it on a second viewing. And I've got to say, when I watched Thor, Love and Thunder, I hated it when I first saw it. And I absolutely despise it after a second fucking watching. Oh my fucking, I was getting angry. I actually felt angry watching it. I was listening. It's the delivery of some of the lines and the acting. It's like the studio said to Taika Waititi, well, you know what? We really like what you did in Ragnarok, right? Really like that. So can you we want you to ramp it up. We just want you to just ramp it up. And it is just full of wank. I'm sorry, but it is, right? There was only one scene in it that actually was better on second viewing. I realised I've been a bit harsh with it.
Go on.
It was where Jane Foster has to break some news to Thor. I thought that was actually a bit better than I remembered it being. Right. So, okay, fine. I'll give it that. But no, it's a film that just tries too hard. It really is. The acting in some parts of it, they can't make up their minds whether they want the characters to be dude bros or actually deep and, thoughtful about stuff. It's just, what do you want? What are these characters supposed to be? It's all over the fucking shop.
I read not too long ago that he didn't want to make it. And
Who, Chris Hemsworth?
No, Waititi. And they
I've got a modicum of respect for him. Then in that case,
they backed a truck of money up his drive and said, "Make it." And basically, I think he just deliberately threw the whole thing under the bus.
I think you're right because it's shocking considering everything else he's written, that I've, there's loads of stuff of his that I like watching, like especially What We Do in the Shadows, that kind of thing. And to see this, it's like, are you, is everything okay at home, hun?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know that for sure.
Do you need assistance?
Rumours is rumours, but but that's the one.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, if that is the case, then that makes me feel better about him being involved in it. Because otherwise, I think it's just a fucking shame. It's amazing how somebody could just go down. I know a lot of people really like it. And that's fine. You can like this movie if you want. I'm not saying you shouldn't.
Opinions.
Personally, it's not even got anything to do with the source material on this one. It is purely the delivery. It really is. It's like, I don't know, ordering a fine meal and somebody serving it up on a fucking shovel.
And you're going for shovel.
Smother it with tomato sauce.
I was trying to work out whether it was going to be shovel or going to be a roof slate.
Or a shopping basket. Here's your soup in a shopping basket, sir.
I was waiting, Jim. I'll be honest with you.
I'll tell you what. If this film was a place, it'd be fucking Hoxton. That's what it would be.
Oh God! Don't start! Back away!
Yeah.
Back away from
fucking
that.
Hoxton.
You'll be in that plastic ring machine before you know it, right next to Jim with a catheter up your arm and pissing yourself.
Yeah, whatever. Hoxton sucks. Anyway, yeah. I've been there, man. I dropped into Hipster Central many moons ago, and so this is not a pint. This is 3/4 of a pint.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
Okay. Well, what's the next size up? Oh, it's a 2-pint jug. Oh, I'm sorry. That makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. Normally, people sell you double, not like I don't even know what to go. What is that? Anyway, sorry. Yes. So, getting back to the other films.
Yes.
Right? So, Ragnarok. I still really like that film. My love for that film's not changed, right? For me, if he just churned something of that sort of level out, that would have been fine. Right? But no, he had to make Love and Chunder.
Yeah.
So, there was that. And, Black Panther.
Black Panther.
So, watch that. Yes, the second time I've watched it. It's only the second time I've watched Black Panther. And where I thought it was an okay movie, I actually came away liking it a lot more.
Yeah. On
the second watch. And I think it's because I haven't got everybody in my ear telling me that I must think it's the world's best film. So I think because of that, because I'm not pressured into thinking that, I actually came away thinking, you know what? This was a lot better than I remember it being. So,
I mean, it does. Yeah. The only thing I remember, because we watched them all recently, we've been through the whole lot. But the only thing I was going to say with Black Panther that still sticks out as being something I don't really like is that fight at the end with the CG punch up. But I find that CG, with the trains, the maglev trains. Yeah. It's so first draft CGI fight. It just feels a bit washy, and I just don't get it. But anyhow, the rest of it's okay.
Watch it. I must admit, watching that fight, I wish the outcome had been different of that fight. I wish the outcome hadn't been typical. This is a comic book movie. Here's your villain of the movie. There you go. What are we going to do? He's a long-standing one in these comic books, but let's just forget that. Yeah, let's just forget that. Hey, it was good enough for Tim Burton's Batman. Yeah, let's one of the longest running villains. Yeah, let's do that again. Let's just do that, shall we? But he's supposed to become Black Panther at some point. Shut up.
Nope. Yep.
Shut up.
Don't worry, they're moving they're going on their own path. They're going on their own path. We're getting Namor as the villain next, so it'll all be over. It'll all be about that next time.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Namor's not even from Atlantis now. You know that, don't you?
Where's he from? Like the local chippy or what?
No, he's yeah, he's not Atlantean anymore. He's now Aztec. Now, I don't know if anybody's seen some of these Mayan temples, but there are like about the sea. There's no sea for about 50 miles in each direction. You know, so
you're not assuming he's Aztec.
No, he is. No, he is. You look at him. He's
the design might be Aztec. Aztec.
No, but it is. They've actually. I've been watching things about it. It's either Aztec or it's Mexican. It's the. Oh, bloody hell! What I can't remember. It begins with Q. Oh, but it is. It's
how many letters?
Quetzalcoatl? What? I don't know.
That kind of thing.
Quetzalcoatl
but
is
if you
Mayans
but
or
it is,
Aztecs?
They've changed Namor's where he's from, his origins. So it's not even Atlantis he's coming from now. It's It's another thing under the sea. It's probably Smurfland.
Yeah, he's coming. He's coming from. He's coming from the sequel to Avatar.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. Way of the water.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still going to be good to finally see him on screen. That's it's going to be a lot of fun.
We're going to get him to play some panpipes.
The Budgie Smugglers and the Big Square Head probably does need to be updated for the modern audience.
Yeah. There's going to be a spin-off to Quetzalcoatl or whatever the fuck it's called. Oh, I can't remember that bloody song or bloody thing. It's rubbish. The joke's not going to fly now. Sod it. Back away from this joke. Back away from this joke.
Yeah, so there you go.
He's from.
He's not Atlantean. There is no. In the film, he's not Atlantean. That's it. They don't come from Atlantis now.
So he's the Overmariner now.
Yeah.
No, they're still under the sea. Under the sea.
The sub-beach coma?
I'm getting very confused now.
I don't know. I really don't. It's just like, why, there is some reason why they've changed it.
Mm.
I'm not quite sure why, but...
Did Atlanteans complain? Have I missed a memo here?
Yeah.
I think, they felt they were misrepresented by Namor because we're not all miserable gits like him. We're actually quite fun people. Join us. We're not like, look at that po-faced git over there with the green trunks on and the wings on his feet. He's from under the sea. Why has he got wings on his feet? I have no idea, mate. No idea. We're none of us. We're all from Atlantis. We have not got wings on our feet.
Some people just try way too hard. Look at all the bling and the wings. Exactly. Bling and wings.
Yeah.
Bling and wings.
Bling wings.
Bling wings. Namor bling wings.
Namor bling wings. Do you like bling wings? Do you like Namor? You got to try Namor bling wings. Right, MB Games. Can I have a go?
Namor bling wings.
I've got off to the 8.
Namor bling wings. Coming soon to Molly's Chicken.
Guess what? We've got waiting for you down at KFC.
Namor bling wings.
Or Namor Bing. If you want the extra big ones, they're Namor Bingo wings. There we go.
Well, there you go. Well, so apart from that, did you like Black Panther?
Do you know what? I'm really looking forward to what Martin Thompson's going to produce now for the context pictures.
Namor bling wings.
I've just got Claire Rayner for some reason in my head advertising Namor bling wings.
They let you go.
This is the Namor bling, but with wings.
They allow you to go roller skating down a California beach. Yeah. Oh well.
Wow, body form.
New bling wings.
But no, Black Panther. Yeah, it was better than I remember it being.
Right. Cool. And the insightful
that was a journey, wasn't it?
That was a journey. We've been on a long road getting from there to here.
We have, yes.
Yeah. So anything else, sir?
Well, me and Ree were trying to think about this. There's like, was there something else we watched that we really kind of enjoyed? Okay. I'll tell you one other thing I did try watching. Mm-hmm. Okay, I tried watching Star Wars Andor.
That's in my week.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'm guessing
we can cross over. We can cross over if you like.
Okay, let's cross over, right? I got on a train, right? Okay, I've downloaded 3 episodes of Andor, and I'm watching this. And normally what I do is if I'm really into like an episode of a show, I'll kind of take the less beaten path home and just watch it as I'm walking home, right? Just keep glancing down the phone. And I got off of the train and didn't. I was like halfway through an episode, half an hour into it. I closed up the phone and haven't gone back to it since. And that was Friday that I did that.
Okay.
So I've not felt the compulsion. It's a 12-episode series. Did you know that? It's longer than any of the other ones that have come out so far.
Well,
12
I can tell
episodes.
you. I can tell you why. Because 3 episodes were just of him just moping around a fucking town doing next to cock all in a story progression.
Yeah. Have you watched it then? Have you watched the whole 3 episodes?
I watched 3 episodes. Right. I watched all 3 episodes. Have you seen it, Jim?
Yes.
Right. Okay. What did you think of it?
I'm quite intrigued, but and I quite like the fact that it's very different from everything else. Whether it'll pan out, don't know. But
yeah,
I kind of actually liked it. Was actually, I know in big franchises you always like promised kind of, this will be look at the underside of the universe, and it never fucking is.
No.
Whereas this time it actually is.
Yeah.
So I'm intrigued. I'm up for it doing something different. And look, there's no Skywalkers. Brilliant. There's no characters at all I know. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Good. Carry on.
Yeah.
Forrest Whitaker that suddenly tilts his head round a corner. Be seeing you.
Yeah. I mean, I will say from that perspective, yes, there's a lot of sort of slice of life stuff going on, and just setting in a different part of the universe, which I think I do dig. I do dig that, but how can I put this? It's like Rings of Power for me at this moment. It's kind of like, where exactly are we going? Because when you I know it's the whole impatience, ADHD kind of, give me some action. No, I don't want that. But it's just at the moment, I'm now of an opinion that if something takes 3 hours to tell you nothing other than world building, then those 3 hours have to be pretty solid to keep me involved. I go back to something like Babylon 5, for example, where you get like 3 hours, and in terms of the overall story, probably not a lot happens, but there's kind of little drips, and there's kind of some throwaway plots. And you're sitting there kind of going, oh, God, and there's people saying, no, wait for 14 episodes and then it will get good. And, by that measure, I should be sitting there going, no, God, I'll never watch Babylon 5. Oh. But the thing is, the first episode of Andor has an intriguing opening in a bar, which I quite liked, and an intriguing setup with the corporation and the sort of like, rent-a-cops, and, that he's after someone and you don't know why and you don't know what's going on. And then there's a shall we say, a falling out to avoid spoilers, which then brings down the corporation on that world, plus on a hunt for Andor. And I'm thinking, right, okay, that's the plot. That's what we've got. But that's taken about 2.5 hours to get to that point.
Blimey.
Because you've done 3 episodes of like 45 to 50 minutes a pop. So it's like, that's. I mean, I'm all for slow burn, but come on. So at the moment, I'm still going to watch it. I'm going to say that now because this could be, like I say, a Babylon 5 thing of kind of like I'm watching it and going, oh, for fuck's sake, get on with it. And then all of a sudden it's just going to go ping, and then I'm just like, okay, I'm in. But right now I'm kind of trying to see what everyone else is seeing in it. Beyond, oh, isn't it interesting you're not seeing a Jedi and you're not seeing, stormtroopers and you're not seeing the standard sort of like default rebels empire kind of thing. So I'm kind of intrigued, but I'm also kind of like, come on, something, just give me a sniff. And it does right at the end of episode 3, once Skarsgård rocks up. So episode 4 will be a kind of, I suspect, a moment of kind of like going, yeah, okay, I'm on board, or okay, nothing's changed. But I'm just kind of a bit on the fence with it. The rest of my week, since we've blended across. What else? Speaking of Star Wars, I went to see Star Wars Return of the Jedi at the Albert Hall with an orchestra.
Ooh.
Which was quite cool. But and this may feed back into the Andor review, I suspect, which is, I feel like watching Return of the Jedi this time round, I felt like, when you sort of first move out, you move away from your parents' house or whatever, you move out, you get a place of your own, whether it's rented or buying, I'm not talking about that, but you suddenly think, I can do what I want. I could have pizza every day. I could have ice cream forever. I can do anything. And you get that sort of thrill of kind of like, wow. And you sort of, shall we say, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but you kind of have that moment of kind of over binging. Do you know what I mean? You have like too much of something. And then eventually you get to a point where you just think, no, what am I doing? What am I doing? And I think I've hit that limit with Star Wars in general now, because I sat there watching Return of the Jedi, which was a birthday present from Carol given to me in 2019 for a concert in 2020 that got bumped to 2021, that then got bumped to 2022. And so I'm sitting there, front and centre, 6 rows from the orchestra, right in front, right smack bang in the middle of the auditorium. The music is brilliant. It's just lovely. It's being played masterfully by the Philharmonic. It's all going really well. But I'm sitting there watching the film itself thinking, come on. I've got to go through the whole fucking Jabba's Palace bit. And then it's like, oh, now I've got to go through Yoda die. Oh, come on. Now they're having the discussion about the Death Star too. When's the action going to start? Oh, here we go. They're taking off. Oh, we got the fucking Ewoks again. Oh, God. And I just I caught myself just thinking, I'm just waiting for the Emperor bits. And that's all I've got left. That's all I've got left on Return of the Jedi. And I just thought, I've kind of chased that dragon too much. Do you know what I mean? I've chased the dragon on Star Wars and the nostalgia for the old things that I used to love. And I've gone too far. I've gone too far, man. I've gone too far. And
bring it home. Bring it home. Come back to us.
And what was even worse was the fact that the edition that was being shown on the telly, on the screen rather, was the version that was included on the last Blu-ray Blu-ray output, which was kind of like the one which has Vader going no as he throws the Emperor down a well, which was stupid in itself. But also they've extended the goddamn song the CGI song with nice noodles in the Jabba's palace bit.
What?
So, yeah, they've now got a frog playing a harmonica in the foreground for about a minute.
God,
CGI
why?
frog. I don't know. And then you got more Boba Fett.
Why don't you know? Tell me.
What's the frog called? Who's his agent?
Yeah.
Can we fire him?
Find the frog. Kill the frog. But
tell me more about the pie.
Tell me about the Twinkie. But yeah, so everything that I didn't like about Return of the Jedi in the first place has just been dragged out even further. And it's just like, oh my God, the fucking song and dance routine is now like 5, nearly 10 minutes long. And and all they do is they keep cutting away from it. Going to Boba Fett just sort of standing there and doing the thing that you hate, Darren, which is walking past the camera and then nodding at the camera.
How do's?
Signature move.
Yeah, evening. Which makes it even more ridiculous because by doing that, the film now focuses on Boba Fett, who we've seen more times than bloody Han Solo. And so to have him just get bitch slapped by a blind guy into a sandy butthole is even more ridiculous. And then on top of that, the song and dance bit ends, and you think, "Oh, thank fuck!" And then it cuts to Jabba, and Jabba goes, or something, and then the subtitles come up underneath. Subtitles come up underneath, going, "I like that. Do it again." And you're like,
"It's that
what?"
Yeah, it's that. Was it how they used to take the mickey out of like martial arts movies, when they'd have someone sort of like, sounds like they've said this entire sort of 14-page amount of text, and it just goes, "Yes, seize him," that kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, now it's more like someone's got 10 more minutes to fill, so they just cut back to Jabba and just change the dialogue, so he says something like, "Yes, I like it, do it again," and then we get like the it's just like, oh my fucking God.
Wibbly wobbly, ipsy bitsy, and dipsy and po.
Yeah.
So Teletubbies.
Yeah. Naughty Nunu. Nom 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 nom. So yeah, I just sat there thinking, well, at least I can close my eyes and listen to the music, and I did. I sat there with me bottle of Stella and me chocolate buttons, and I listened to the Royal Philharmonic play the soundtrack to Return of the Jedi, and ignored the film almost entirely until the last 10 minutes, because I think I'm done. And maybe that's feeding into my general thoughts on Andor. Maybe that's colouring my view. But we'll see. What else happened? I can't remember. I can't remember anything else.
It's gone, man.
It's gone, man. I'm sure if I look on Facebook, there was a grand opening of Morley's Chicken round my way.
Paulies Chicken.
Which
no,
I mean,
for those of us who don't earn that much money, it's Paulies Chicken, like those fucking Paulios that I ate the other week. For people like me who haven't got much money, I don't have Oreos, I have Paulios.
Yeah, well, let me just say this. Yeah, they had a grand opening which was celebrated by a stack of balloons. Yeah. And then you go, right, okay, cool. And then you walk past, and bearing in mind, it's drizzling. It's 11 degrees. It's 6:30 in the evening, and the queue out of the Morley's Chicken was 2 people deep and 30 people long.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I took a photograph of it, stuck it on Twitter. I'll put it in the Facebook group later. But it's just like, hold on, this isn't like the new Nikes or some limited edition, I don't know, signing of some artist or something. It's a fucking Morley's Chicken. There's people literally standing there in the fucking drizzle, going, oh good God, I've been waiting for this forever. Fucking Morley's Chicken.
Do you know what?
Give me some of that shit.
There used to be a
Aren't
chicken
like
shop
thousands
in
of them all
Grove
over
Park.
London?
Right?
Yes, Morley's chicken is basically called dirty chicken. I mean, it is
It is
dirty
dirty
chicken.
chicken,
Dirty chicken.
Dirty chicken, because the thing is, 9 times out of 10, you'll only go near it if you're 7 sheets to the wind coming home from the pub. And I just couldn't get it. And what's even worse is like only 100 yards down the road in Grove Park, it's another fucking Morley's chicken. It's not like they're rare. It's not.
Do you know what? Do you know why people go to Morley's chicken? Sure, I'll tell you why, right?
Go on.
Okay, because when you go in there, you get a lot more than you fucking expect, right? I went in
Salmonella,
there once.
diphtheria.
No. Well, yeah, there is that. You get that for free. But I went in there and he's like, I've ordered some chicken, all right? Chicken and chips.
Yeah.
And he's like, here, I'll have 12 donuts. I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. And it's like, here's the keys to a speedboat.
So
Just
you
keep giving you stuff.
So really, what you're saying is you're saying that people are kind of going there on the off chance they're going to get some freebies.
Actually, no, because I actually spoke to the person, like the one that was behind the counter. I actually spoke to the guys like they were human beings, unlike the rest of the people in there who, just because they're serving staff, think I can talk to them any fucking way I like, mate.
Oh, right.
So I think that's why I got stuff, because everyone else in there was a complete and utter cunt. So,
right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, there you go. Morley's Chicken, exclusive opening in Bromley.
Yeah.
Enjoy. It's an event. Apparently, they're still out there queuing now.
Loads of local celebrities turn up, like was it Turntable Dave or what? What's that? What's
Dangerous
it?
Dave the Turntable
Turntable
Slave.
Yeah, flip flop, flippity, flip flop, flip flop.
Zip zap rap.
Zip zap rap.
I mean, let's be honest. I'm going to be honest. I'm only being sarcastic because, I wasn't asked as a local celebrity to open it, to open the local Morley's Chicken.
Yeah, but you do have Dangerous Dave, right? The turntable.
I can't compete with Zip Zap Rap. I mean, let's
exactly. My name's Dave and I am hip. I'm going to Morley to buy some chips. That kind of thing. I mean, it's classic Dave. Classic Dave.
It's completely his MO. It's totally his demographic.
He ain't aged either. He ain't aged at all. No.
Much like the chicken. Nice. Thank you. Anyway, that's it. It's been a slack week when the best thing I can come up with is I still don't like Star Wars anymore, and Morley's Chicken's open, so we'll draw a line under it there, I think. I will see very, very quickly whether or not we did have any feedback for last week's film, which was nope. I will just have a quick gander. And the answer would be, Martin Thompson. Martin Thompson wrote in on the Facebook group and he said, I enjoyed this movie and the discussion really made me want to go back and rewatch it. I loved all the little details too, especially the design work at the ranch in which all the signage, even Jupiter's jacket, alluded to the UFO. I did wonder if OJ survived the film though, as we see him turn up at the end, but he's clouded in dust like he was Emerald's vision rather than the proof that he was still with us. There you go. We may never know. I like the idea of that though. He's dead. See, that's the sort of thing where we need Elton now. We'd be like, "Oh, you're right, man." Oh, he'd be all over that. He'd be digging into that right now. But anyway, thank you for that, Martin. And if anybody else wants to send any feedback in for Nope, I Came By, Possum, or any of the other films we've ever covered, by all means, send it into feedback@Black Dog Podcast, or go on the Facebook group, which is facebook.com/groups/The Black Dog Podcast, and leave a comment in there. Right. I think we're going to leave it there. I think that's it for this section. We're running late, so we better push on, because I think we're going to have fun going through the next bit of the review, because we're about to review Tumbbad. Roll the jingle.
Ooh, we're watching a new movie we've never seen before. I'm buttering my nipples and waxing my ass. Roll up the Mystery Monica film. Roll up for the Mystery Monica film. Roll up
Masturbation.
for the Mystery Monica film. Roll up
Some lubrication.
for the Mystery Monica film. The Mystery Monica film is waiting for us to hit play. Going to watch it today. What will we say?
Right, so Tumbbad is a 2018 Indian Hindi language period horror film. And now here we go. I'm going to take a step back because I'm going to have to try and pronounce everyone's names. And as we know, I'm really good at that. Okay.
Yeah, very good.
No, I'm not. I'm terrible. Right, it is directed by Rahi Anil Bhav. Additionally, Anand Gandhi served as the creative director. Adesh Prasad served as co-director. It's written by Mitesh Shah, Prasad, Bhav, and Gandhi. The film was produced by Soham Shah and L. Rai and Mukesh Shah, starring Soham Shah in the lead role as Vinayak Rao. I've done it. I did it.
Well done.
Thank you. It follows the story of Rao's search for a hidden treasure in the 20th century British Indian village of Tumbbad in the Maharashtra. Bhav began writing the script based on a story a friend told him about in 1993. He wrote the first draft in 1997 when he's 18 years old, and from 2009 to 2010 he created a 700-page storyboard for the film. It was optioned by 7 production companies who backed out or went to the floor, and then it went to production 3 times and was first shot in 2012, but after editing, Bhav and Shah were not satisfied. The film was then rewritten, reshot, with filming completed in May 2015. Panjak Kumar served as director of photography, while Sanyuka Kaza was the editor. Jasper Kidd, who is probably the only name I probably do know because he did the music for Assassin's Creed, composed the original score. It premiered at the Venice Film Festival and was the first Indian film screened there. And it also premiered at the 2018 Fantastic Fest. I don't have the budget and box office because they are in crores. And the crores are 1 million of something that I don't understand. But anyway, I will, just for tradition's sake, ask, what did you think it made at the box office, Dal?
I think it made 3 loincloths and I don't know, head covered in petrol.
Right. Okay. Jim?
1 tree through the heart.
Yeah, Grandma, there's a tree growing out of you. Right. As ever, we'll go around the table, find out what everyone thought just generally, and then we'll get into spoiler zone. Jim, you picked this last, so we'll go first because we haven't seen this film before. So, Darren, just generally, what do you think of Tumbbad?
I really enjoyed it. Once I was awake enough to actually watch it all the way through.
Right.
I realise now that me and subtitle movies don't mix after around about 8 o'clock at night.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rethinks movie he's doing next week. Okay, right. Yep, go on.
But no, after actually sitting there and watching it properly, yeah, I really enjoyed this. Something I really enjoyed even more than the film itself was the soundtrack. I just thought it was just such a, really, really good atmospheric set of pieces on this.
Yeah. Well, again, there's Jesper Kyd and some of his atmospheric stuff for Assassin's Creed is very good. It's always very good. But
and the photography as well. Really, definitely. Really well done.
Cool. But overall, you liked it, yeah?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Cool. Nice. Okay, for me, much the same. I loved the score. I loved the story. It took me a few minutes to kind of get my head around some of the, shall we say, not cultural references, but certainly the method of storytelling seems slightly away from the usual Western world kind of method. So there was a couple of jumps here and there, and a couple of sort of telling you the story through the song kind of thing, which feels very light, Bollywood light. You know, we didn't have a song and dance number in the middle, but we did have a lot of the songs telling you a lot of the story that the film isn't showing you.
Yeah.
So yeah, but overall, I did indeed like it. I thought it was a really interesting story, and I didn't feel it was too much of a horror film as much as it was a sort of a modern fable.
Sort very of much so.
Fairy tale.
Yeah, fairy tale, fable, grim fairy tale. But overall, thumbs up. Yes, I will say that. But what about you, Jim? Because this is your second time of watching it, so
it is. Well, Tumbbad. No, Tumgood.
You've been queuing that one up for a week. I can feel it.
Hasta la vista, baby. No, so I discovered this just by chance of on an online group. I can't remember which one on Facebook. People say, this film's Indian folk horror films on streaming. We'll give that a whirl.
Yeah.
In that kind of, you can turn off its shite, can't I?
Yeah.
And actually, it's kind of from the opening scenes, you go, oh, hang on, I think this might be not what I was expecting at all. And it is kind of, on one hand, it sort of reminded me of the old Jim Henson series, The Storyteller, but also sort of Pan's Labyrinth mode Del Toro as well.
Yeah.
And not so much. Well, partly the Del Toro Hellboy films, but also the Hellboy comics as well. That kind of, these like ancient supernatural things, and modern people are screwing around with them.
Yes, yeah.
But yeah, I really enjoyed it, and it was fun watching it a second time, because the first time you watch it, you don't know. There's a mystery of where the coins are coming from, which is slowly and I think very perfect. It just tells you enough and enough and enough before it gives you the reveal.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it was a lot of fun to go back to, knowing what the score actually is, if you see what I mean. So yeah, we really enjoyed going back to it again. And I say I think it's a very beautiful movie on many levels. It's kind of, it's one of those things. It's a shame. I know more people won't watch it because it's Indian. It's got subtitles, but you really, really should, because it's, it's a really unique sort of film.
Yeah, I was because that was gonna be almost my first. That was gonna be my first question, really, which was, almost the same as what we did with Parasite, which is, I was going to ask you, Dow. I mean, because you were saying about sleep, being a bit sleepy and kind of skipping the old 1 inch barrier, which is the subtitles. How did you find them? I mean, especially with the singing and everything as well.
I've got to say, I thought sometimes the subtitles weren't up on screen for long enough.
Right.
They were just there and gone too quickly. So that was a little bit annoying to have to rewind just to catch what the subtitle was.
Yeah.
But in total, I mean, like I say, when I'm awake enough, then subtitles are no problem. And it's just, I must have watched the same scene about 6 times last night, just nodding off and go, oh, fuck it, rewind. and at one point, fucking falling asleep at exactly the same point, right?
Really?
The guy just that was it. It was like, no, I can't do this now. I'll leave it until the morning. I'll get up early and watch it.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I did. I'm glad I gave it a really good chance. Because, I wouldn't have known otherwise. I mean, this is not the sort of film I would have gone for now, but I see there are, when you go actually looking for the film, there are other ones that look interesting that they kind of recommend. If you like this, then you may well like this.
Yeah.
So there are one or two other films that I might check out.
Cool.
As well.
Okay. So this has kind of put you on a path. It
might have done, yeah. I say there's some. It's interesting to come away and watch. It's pretty much how I feel about sort of like adult books, adult novels, the standard stuff, and then taking a chance on some of the young adult books, like for science fiction and stuff like this, and finding that they take more risks in those books, and they've got wilder ideas than the standards, the standard tropes of an adult novel. And it's pretty much the same with watching a film that's, a very Western film, and then just coming off the beaten track and going to watch a film from a country that you would, looking at a set of films from a country you would never think of going to watch, and realizing that there's some really good stuff within the actual films themselves, some really cool ideas, and some really interesting ways of looking at well-worn sort of subjects. Okay. Like in this film, I've got to say, I know this is jumping forward a bit, but there was a bit that took me by surprise. I went, oh, that's not good. And I think, that was a complete and utter surprise when it happens.
Yeah.
So I did not see that coming.
Yeah.
You think, oh shit.
Yeah, okay.
It's one of them sort of moments.
In which case I know exactly the bit you're talking about. Okay, well, we'll get to that bit in a minute because that is quite a turning point, if I'm not mistaken. But I mean, because it makes perfect sense way before it all goes wrong, doesn't it? It's just like,
it does, but you just don't think of it, and it's like that was a nice little surprise, the lovely little bit of thinking there. None of this treating you like a fucking idiot, and we're just going to foreshadow this sort of event. And when you think about it, it's like, well, it makes sense, and that's a real bastard move as well. It's
yep.
Just it's like fuck. Because there's two bits like that, right? There's two things that occur, and they directly kind of, one is the outcome of the first bit, but I'll say that when you officially say we can start saying spoilers.
Well, I was going to say I think we're already very, very, very close to spoiler time already. I think, to be honest.
Yeah.
So going forward, ladies and gentlemen, if you've not seen this film, and I'm going to take a rough guess that a fair proportion of you haven't, do check it out. I mean, it's definitely. If it's your first introduction to a Bollywood movie, or I'm calling it a Bollywood movie, it's not really a Bollywood movie. It's just a movie made in India, but it's like it's a nice easing in, because I have seen Bollywood movies before where it's kind of like, looks like it's supposed to be the Terminator, and then you've got a 25-minute song and dance routine with like 200 people, and you're like, what? But this is kind of eases you into that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So do check it out. But going forward from here on in, spoilers ahoy! Spoilers. So there you go. You've been warned. I'm not warning you again, because you know what? Fuck it. I ain't got time. We're running late.
Indeed. So okay. So I can talk about that thing now. Then,
well, I was going to say, before we talk about that thing, because I think we all had the same reaction. If I'm honest, I think we'll get to that bit. I was going to say, start off with, how easy was it for you guys to follow? And I'm not trying to be sort of racist or sort of like, oh, we don't understand other cultures sort of thing. But I just like the idea of like the method of storytelling. Because when I watched it, and this is my kind of view of it, when I watched it the first time, I watched it and I'm like, okay, I'm on board here. You know, there's the boy with his brother, and there's his mother, and you know, she's I don't know, knocking the one out of the old bloke, either using a winch, or I don't quite get what was going on there, but
he must be some well-built old chap. Oh, so she needs a fucking winch.
She needed block and tackle, didn't she, or something? It was just very odd.
It was something like that, yeah.
Yeah. But it was, but the whole thing of her referring to the treasure, and there's all that kind of voiceover about the gods and the whole thing about that. But you never quite realise what's going on there, and it's kind of partly mystery, but also I got the distinct feeling, much like when I watch a Korean horror or a Japanese horror, I get a feeling that there's a lot of markers in there which I'm just not picking up. So the second time round, watching it for the review, rather than just watching it, I was like, oh, okay, fine, I get it. But I had to watch it a second time to get it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So how did you find that, Dal? I mean, because you've watched it once, presumably, only because you slept through the first time.
Yeah, it's it. Well, I tried rewatching it at least 3 or 4 times last night, and you know, it was just my head just kept falling backwards and stuff, and it's like, no, I can't do this. I really can't. But watching it from this morning, with like, you know, fatigue and that out the way, I was fine with it. I was like locked in to this. So yeah, I found it. I got the gist. I got what was going on. You know, and it was nice that when they start revealing more, and you then other bits click later on. Yeah, I found it fine.
Yeah, and yourself, Jim?
I think there is things that probably have a greater resonance to an Indian audience, because like the 3 chapters are set in 3 different ages of India. And I think, you know, it's kind of, there's like cues there that would sort of, you know, make a lot more sense. It's like if you had something in the Roaring 20s and the Second World War, then like the 1960s for like Britain.
Yeah, with partition and like
you'd have that sort of sense of it's a different world. And so but I think I don't think it's that necessarily opaque, but certainly on a second time I was more aware of that, and it's kind of, that does add a lot of motivation to the story, because it's 3 sort of crux points in Indian history, and it is kind of, this is why he's obsessed with not being poor. And there's, you know, it's more than just basic greed. There is a kind of, I can actually never have enough money because these are uncertain times, and I have, you know, this is his worst nightmare, is being poor. And I think that adds an interesting sort of backdrop to what is kind of like a modern sort of fable in many ways, but it gives it that sort of grounding in reality, and just rounds out the characters. I mean, I think it's one of those things, when you first start, you go, what's going on? Hey, well, I should have paid more attention to that voiceover. Wind it back. Because it is one of those things you almost should say, pay attention. This is important. This isn't just scene setting and flavour. This is, you know. But I think it does a good job of actually just hitting those, ringing the little reminder bells now and again through, and you go, oh, yes, sorry, yeah, got it, yes, the hidden son of the goddess, you got the goal but didn't get the grade, I see it, and you work out how it all works.
Yeah, I mean, I think the other thing was, and kind of for me, where I was kind of like missing a beat somewhere, was, I know it sort of did the time jumping, but I never really got how he figured out certain things. So, like the ring of flour and
I wondered about this, and it's kind of on my first viewing. I assumed he's there at Sarkar's mansion for quite a while when he first goes back as a grown to Tumbbad, and he's exploring, and you see he does actually get a big beard, says he's been there a while, and I assumed it was trial and error. But watching it a second time, it's kind of no. Old grandmother told him there is a way to do this. This is what you do. And of course, where it all comes unstuck is that, like many modern people, they go, well, there's always a bollocks. There's a better way of doing it. No, there's a very good reason why you take wand off. There's a good reason why you do it this way.
Yes, and now, enter stage left, Mr. Barnard, with his moment.
Yeah, indeed. Well, the moment comes in two parts, okay? So you're watching this and you're seeing the father and the son go down into the well, and they're doing the thing with the coins and whatever. And then the son has that idea of, well, why don't we just steal the loincloth and get the money that way? And it's like the father's like, actually, that's a really cool idea. And you're sitting there thinking, actually, why didn't I think of that? That actually is a good idea. Steal the loincloth. You've got eternal coins. You never have to fucking go back down there. Well, how can we get this done? Let's bake loads of the bakery babies, right? Let's get loads of those and take them down with us. And that's where the second part of the fucking sucker punch comes along. When you realise that for as many babies that you take down there, that's how many gods you're going to have to fucking deal with. And it's like, oh my God, this is brilliant. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
But I doff my cap to you, sir.
I will be honest with you. I sat there. I was the first time I watched it, I sat there in bed and Carol was asleep, and I sort of sitting there watching it on my phone, and I'm sort of sitting there with my headphones on, and I sort of saw the first baby flower baby thing came out, and I thought, oh, good, right, okay, so now just throw another one once he's eaten that, and the kid drops them, and as he does that, and you see them all start coming out of the walls, and I went, oh. Sitting there in the middle of the night, Carol's like, you all right? I was like, yeah, go back to sleep. It's just like, oh, fuck.
Oh man,
it was funny.
I do love good writing like that. It just really, really. I'm so glad that I didn't actually read up on this before I watched it.
Me too.
Because that would have been spoiled like nobody's business.
Yeah.
But oh man, yeah, that was just a really, really nice little 1-2 between the bit. And you know, another bit I love as well was when he takes him down there to do the practice run, and he goes, "But Dad, look, I bought one of the babies along." And he's like, "Fuck!" And then the thing comes out the wall. And it's just, get the fuck in here quickly!
Fuck!
Go!
Yeah. I mean, the one thing I was going to say was, and then again, this may be a cultural thing. This may be just me misreading it or not catching it. But for me, the one bit that I found a bit weird, and maybe this is just the whole, like I say, cultural thing where, you know, the way the fable's told, but nobody seemed particularly fazed by any of the supernatural elements. Did that not bother you guys? Because when old Hastor comes crawling out the woodwork for the first time you've seen him,
yeah,
and you see the bloke just sort of like casually just throw a dough down there, it's like, even if I've seen that thing one time or 100 times, if it's standing like less than a foot away from me with nothing but a ring of flour to defend myself, I don't think I'd be sitting there going, yeah, right, okay, so all I've got to do is throw out the flour, baby. It'd be like, fuck! Jesus. And it was quite interesting when the same guy came back to the grandmother and she's got a tree growing out of her and it's just a head in the ground and all that sort of thing. And he just very calmly starts talking to her. And it's just, did anyone else find that a little odd? Or is that to be expected?
I think for his family, he's grown up tending that grandmother, who isn't as his literal grandmother. That's just an honorific. She's been there for how many generations? And, their family's lot to tend this fucking ravenous monster. But I think the big thing is, okay, there's a monster there, but you know what? This gold is very real.
Yeah.
And money will change people's opinions on a good many things, or rather cause people to ignore a great many things if there's a lot of money involved.
Yeah.
It's like, yep, whatever. Yep. Look at that shiny yellow thing. Fucking ace.
Yep. Seems legit.
Seems legit. Let's form a government. Oh, sorry, hold on. Send out a budget.
Crazy Quarten.
Oh, I'm never going to hear that tune the same way again now.
A little bit of politics there for you, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you who love such things. Oh, I like that. Crazy Quartang. Oh, love it. Well done, Jim. Yeah, I was just going to say, because the one thing, because that was always kind of the bit that was kind of throwing me a little when, like, the kids are like, oh, yeah, we'll just go and feed grandma by herself. And it's like, I can't see 2 7-year-olds, trundling into some demonic thing. I mean, my kids at 7 couldn't even flush the toilet because it was too loud. Without someone having to stand there and tell them to go back and do it. It's just like, Jesus. I can't see someone taking dinner and trying to feed a sleeping demon. It all just seemed a little sort of like heightened reality for me. But, didn't take anything away from it, but it did make me kind of sit there a couple of times going, really? Oh, okay. Fair enough. What do you think was the significance of the whole brothel and him just slouching around for a fair portion of this film? Because the main character sort of does start getting the gold, and then occasionally he gets the gold, and then he gets rid of his mate. And once he does that, there's this kind of weird I'm not going to say it's a lull, because it is pushing the story along, but there's a kind of weird section right in the middle where he just seems to be kind of constantly kind of whoring it up and just sitting in a pub.
Well, it's the whole it's the excess, isn't it? It's the greed that comes through, and this is how he chooses to spend the money, is on all the sort of frivolous things that he could do. Yeah, what I feel. Okay, that's what that is,
Jim.
It's
well, I think that's part of his thing. He has his desperate fear of being poor. You know what I mean? He's very driven. He's very ruthless. You know what I mean? Lie to my mum, yeah, anything, whatever. Give me the gold. Once he has the gold, what then? And it's that kind of, well, I just roll around the house a bit. And like in the last section, where he's having that meeting with the officials, they're saying, you deserve a better man, and this game a bit shabby. So yeah, fuck it, whatever. But you know what I mean? Because he still wants more gold, but he doesn't really know what to do with it. You know what I mean? It's this pointless acquisition. Yeah. And it's sort of, indolence goes hand in hand with greed, it seems.
Because I was trying to work out, because at one point, and maybe I'm overthinking it or misreading it, but I kind of felt that kind of slouching and falling to sort of drink, drugs, girls, all that kind of stuff was a form of curse. That the more he gets involved in, the more that he does it, the more he's being corrupted by it. Not just corrupted by the money, but corrupted by the cash being cursed and stealing it from gods. Because I kind of felt that was kind of hidden underneath the whole thing, that like Grandma had been cursed by the search for the gold, and the owner of the place, the bloke who was getting tugged off by some sort of winching machine at the beginning, he too was cursed, and it just felt like it was that whole sort of slouching around the village was kind of indicating more than just, oh, he's got the money, he's got nothing to do with it. Oh.
Well, I think there's definitely an element of that to that. I mean, now there's the old saying, those the gods wish to destroy, they grant their wishes.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah. I mean, did you feel there was a curse element to it, Dow, or was it just, like I say, just he's got the money, he's throwing it away?
Yeah, I do feel as though there was a curse element. We have it at the start of the film as well, with the boy dying, falling out of the tree, hitting his head.
Yeah, everyone involved in that mansion is kind of getting somehow cursed.
Well, that's it. The whole place is cursed because it perpetually rains there, which is the sign of the anger of the gods.
So
literally no one will live there because it's just bad news being there.
So it's Bradford.
Well,
sorry, people of Bradford.
Yeah, fuck it. Why not? Why not?
But yeah, okay. No, it was just because it was the boy falling off the tree as soon as they were about to leave that I started getting that kind of Omen kind of vibe, or the Ring, that as soon as you try to, no, not the Ring, the Grudge, that as soon as you try to escape the curse by, just simply leaving, everything starts to go on the wonk. And I was wondering if it's something I missed, but if we ever found out what actually happened to the mother.
I think when he returns, it's because she's died. I think.
Yeah.
If I remember rightly.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of assumed that she'd passed on because just simply the amount of time that had passed, but I was just kind of wondering if there was some kind of cursed element to it.
No, I think there was a dropped line about how his mother had passed away, and that's why he'd gone back to Tumbbad. Because he had promised he wouldn't go, but then, he's dead now, bollocks.
Yeah.
Bollocks to it.
Yeah, what do you want? Yeah. I'm not promising now. There's nothing to promise. There's no one to promise to.
But I think there's kind of like a generational. I like this idea of the curse because I think it's very subtle. It's not like heavy-handed. But I think there's a big irony of that basically his son is a greedy little bastard like he was.
Yeah.
And that proves to be the undoing of both of them.
Yeah. Not only that, a greedy, horny little bastard.
Yes.
Dirty, dirty bird. I mean, fair play for giving it a go, but let's be honest, that boy needed a slap.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, cool. What about the creature effects? How do we feel about those? Because I thought for the sort of general budget of the movie, I know I said I didn't know how much it cost, but it's like, it's not a major sort of American Hollywood sort of like couple of billion quid to produce kind of movie. What did you feel like they were? I thought they were pretty damn good, given the budget.
Would say so. Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, I thought like Grandma was fairly
practical, wasn't she?
Yeah, fairly your standard latex goo, and almost old school 80s.
Yeah,
in the best possible way. But the actual rendering of Hastur, the god, I thought was superb. Because that game was practical, not CGI, and it's kind of like fucking hell, you got some freaky people in the cast, didn't you? Jesus, like that skinny guy in Wreck. You know?
Yeah. Oh, God,
yeah. Kinda...
Was he in?
But I thought that was just such a good design as well.
Yeah.
So what you got, raw meat Gollum in the chat?
Raw meat Gollum. Yeah, that's what I called him in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. I referred to him as raw meat Gollum. I mean, I kind of thought he was CG for the most part, but I mean, there are certainly there's a practical element to it, definitely. But I just watched it and I thought, oh, that's quite impressive. For such a small budget movie.
Well, I think with this movie, what it did very, very well, and what a lot of low budget filmmakers really need to know, is light your scenes and your effects properly.
Yes.
If you get the lighting right, you can sell people anything. You can make a cheap looking set look amazing. You can take a budget effect and make it look real with the right lighting.
Oh, God, yeah. Definitely.
And I thought that's it. Just the cinematography in this was top notch, but particularly second time around, I noticed how well things were lit and how well it used light, in particular flames and lanterns and candles, which is kind of visually, that's a counterpoint, I think, very much to all the rain that's in the rest of the movie. And that was very, that was just really just such a strong visual look and just so well executed.
Okay, yeah, definitely. I definitely think that was it. The lighting was, because I caught myself that moment with which Darren was going on about the multiple flower babies when the matches kept going out, and you get every now and again you get a very tiny glimpse of something moving just off in the dark. And that, to me, was 100% more effective than any movie monster ever. I mean, including the one that you actually see. That it's as ever, it's the thing you don't see that's more terrifying than the thing you do. And I just thought, oh bloody hell! Oh God, no! Oh, I don't want to be here at all, ever. Thanks. Goodbye. I don't want to be here. It's scary. Oh, what I was going to say about that as well. Can I ask another question? And this may be a sort of like an Ask Science Fiction in the Universe answer question. Yeah. If Haster, not that we're supposed to mention his name, but if Haster can't stand flour, and he can't go near flour, and he can't touch flour, and he can't cross lines made of flour, how the fuck does he eat flour?
That's probably because it's not really in flour form.
I think it's the pure grain. It's the whole grain that gets him.
The whole grain. He can't stand whole wheat. he's got a gluten intolerance.
I think it's once you've made it into a dough and added other stuff, it's it becomes different. Sort of
not pure.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that's how it works.
Okay.
But also the dough dolls might be made with a different sort of flour as well.
Right.
Whereas the actual, it is like you can't get the grain is the myth. So you'd have grain flour to do your circles, but it might be rye flour in the dolls.
Gotcha. So it's like, yeah. So one's like a pure bleached flour, and the other one's still got the grain kernels and everything gritted in there, sort of thing. Okay. Cool.
So I have a related question on the lore of it.
Okay. Go on.
Do you think, having got that loincloth, there was any coins in it at all? Because my thing for watching it the second time is actually this whole last raid was a busted flush, because
yes,
when you find there's as many Hasters as there are dolls, there are as many loincloths, and I think just once you get the loincloth off him, You've got a rag. Well done.
Go on, I'll throw that to you, Dale. Go on, what do you reckon first?
Oh, I totally agree with that, because I mean, you see at the end when the dad is holding out to the loincloth to the boy, going, "Go on, take it." It's that decision the boy's got to make. Do you want to, do this, or do you want to break the cycle?
Yeah,
and he decides to break the cycle, and as we all do, set our dads alight. So there you go.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest. I've been there.
Oh, you have, yeah. You're on fire, yeah.
How to make Darren feel awkward.
No, I don't feel awkward at all.
But yeah, no, I'll be honest. I'll be honest with you. I completely agree. I think the whole point was, that it's the risk reward thing. That you have to go down there. You have to face the demon god, whatever, and you have to get the money off him because it's attached to the story. If you just get a rag off him, then what have you accomplished? Nothing.
Yeah.
And there's no shortcuts. I think that's the key. There's no shortcuts. There's no sort of like, oh yeah, well if we take down 40 dolls and we bring some really long tongs, we could probably pick like half a dozen like loincloths off him. It's like, no god is going to let you do that. I mean, it's bad enough they're being fooled by a bloody dough flower boy with stones in it. But they're only doing that to follow the rules. No, you got no chance, my friend. Yeah, no, that's very true. And I thought the whole presenting it to him and him having to kind of take it or not kind of represented whether or not he was even willing to risk it. Like, again, it's like passing that curse on, isn't it?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
You take it and you continue the curse.
You take this, you get nothing.
Yeah.
Well, nothing good.
Yeah.
Because there was no coins coming out of that loincloth.
No.
But it was just kind of, have this, let's continue this fuckery.
Yeah.
See what shit you can get into.
Yeah. Or was it even just the dad just sort of going, look what you've done to me, look what I've done to get you out of here, and look what you've won. You've won a rag.
I mean, it was a bad first day at work.
I'll be honest with you. It would be grounds for dismissal, or at least not continuing past your probation date. If I'm honest, But yeah, I did like the whole idea of the flower around the coffin lid though, so that when they came out the coffin, it sort of blew them all up. I love that. I thought it was very cool. Right. I was just looking at the time. Has anyone got anything particular they want to bring up? Because personally, I don't have a lot to discuss about it beyond the fact that I think it's not really a horror film. Would you agree?
No. Yeah, I would agree.
Dark fable, like I'd say.
Yeah.
What happens when you take that descent into greed?
Yeah.
You take that journey and, how you can bring yourself back from that. And I think in the end, the father actually did perform that one selfless act, which is basically leading all the Hasters up the rope to their own demise.
Yeah.
But in doing so, he either gets scratched or bitten along the way and becomes cursed.
Yeah. Actually, that's just reminding me. His mate he double crosses his mate and kicks him into the path of Haster, or throws him into the womb thing. And then he has he has second thoughts, and then he throws petrol on him and sets him on fire.
Yeah.
Was he still moving when the sun came down for the work test? Because I got the distinct impression that black smudge that was his ex-mate was still moving. Or was that just because it was on a really tiny screen and my eyes weren't working at this point?
I didn't notice him moving, but I weren't really, concentrating solely on that one spot on the wall.
I think when he goes back and the sun sees the big black splodge on the wall, that's very much inert at that stage.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, because that would add an extra level of horror for me if the whole idea is they think they've got get an escape from the curse by being set on fire, only to find out that actually no, you're just now on fire and burnt to a crisp, but still alive. But
oh man, yeah, that's dark.
And then Grandma's up there, not only turned into a tree, but now turned into a tree that's been burnt to the ground. That would be even worse. There's a certain level of
just a bit
absolute horror about that whole thing. And the other thing was the womb cave under the ground. Was that just a symbolic womb, or was it actually still attached to the god itself? What I'm saying is, it's not Hastur, but the actual other,
the actual goddess of
the goddess
prosperity.
Yes. Just wondering, because there's another sort of, there's another kind of implication right there that, like, that whole landscape that they're on is essentially a humongous god, and we're into sort of Borderlands territory.
Yeah.
It's an interesting idea, certainly.
I was just like, oh, hang on. There's one element we're not really exploring here. This is we've come in through the shall we say the sphincter to enter the womb, which means we're upside down, which means that going into the ground is the rest of the god.
It could be.
Yeah.
Exactly. In which case,
well, there's something to contemplate over your frosties, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. There's something to chew over while you're having your morning porridge. Yeah. But that's about it for me. That was my notes. Does anybody have anything else they'd like to bring up? Jim, you wanna?
Not offhand I can think of. Most things on my mental list.
Okie dokie, Darren.
No. I think I've said everything. Really.
Okie dokie. You
can't think of anything for now anyway.
You got your moment off your chest.
Exactly. Yeah, the 1-2. The 1-2.
The 1-2. I think that's it for me as well. I will just reiterate for anyone still listening, and if you have listened and gone through, spoilered yourself, do go check it out. It is very, very good. And we'll leave that right there. Right. Okay. So, if you have seen Tumbbad and you would like to throw a little bit in there, maybe we missed something, maybe I haven't brought something up, maybe we haven't discussed something, maybe there's something you want to point out, then by all means jump on the usual routes, which is Facebook group, which is facebook.com/groups/the Black Dog Podcast, or send us in an email with which is at feedback@blackdogpodcast.com. Right. I'm going to now take a step back and say that I'm going to reveal this week's movie we were going to be doing, which is my turn, and also is officially starting the indeterminate weeks of horror. I was going to say 4 weeks, but I've realised that we'll be up to sort of week 6 once we start my one. So so the 8.5 weeks of horror we're gonna kick off midway with my film, and my film is something that I've seen come up many times on hidden gems, horror movies you should check out because it's one that most people didn't see but got a good review, got a good notice, and I will admit I've not seen this, so I have zero information about it. And it's on Netflix, and it's called Hush. Hush, a 2016 movie. Now, I've seen the thumbnail for this, and that's about the whole caboodle of it. Yeah, that's it. It's all I know is it has the involvement of Mike Flanagan, who did The Haunting of Bly Manor, The Haunting of Hill House, and Midnight Mass.
And Dr. Sleep.
And Dr. Sleep as well. So that was the moment when I went, okay, I'm picking this film. Because he has a track record, and I did like Midnight Mass, and I did like The Haunting of Hill House, and I did like Dr. Sleep. So I figured Hush would be at least worth a look. But that's all I know about it. Have either of you seen Hush?
I have, yes.
You have? Okay.
I
go on.
don't know if I have or not. It sounds really familiar.
Well, it's like I say, it's been put on Netflix for so long. It's probably sort of like burnt into your sort of subconscious by the fact that it's always on there. It always seems to come up. Jim, you've seen it, so are you looking forward to watching it again?
Yes, I saw it quite a few. I think when it first popped up on streaming,
right?
Because Mike Flanagan, he started with he had a film Absentia.
Yeah, Absentia.
Absentia, that's it.
Oh,
and then another one about a haunted mirror with Karen Gillan called Oculus.
I've seen the trailer for that.
And then he did another one, Before I Wake, as well. That's good. And then he did Hush. And I'd seen all his previous films. I was going, this guy's good. He makes a good movie.
Yeah.
I wasn't disappointed. I won't say anything else about it, but it's
right.
I think it's a good little movie with a good concept, well executed.
Like most
of the cast.
Oh, right, okay.
No.
I was going to say that most Mike Flanagan Netflix shows. So cool. Okay. Cool. Well, like I say, I've got no reference. I can't even. Elton's not even here. I can't even ask him about blooming, his potential. his potential roast potatoes based on the thumbnail. So, yes. And for those of you who are just joining us in version 2, the roast potato scale is basically our agreed and ratified unit of horror. So the roast potatoes, the amount of roast potatoes need to be on the plate to take your mind off of the fact that you're watching a horror movie. So we'll be visiting that scale next week. So that's it for us. Yes, we'll be reviewing Hush next week. But until then, let's find out what's going on over in Hypnagoria land, sir.
Well, yes. For today, I've just dropped a new reading of a H.P. Lovecraft story, The Outsider. A little later in the week on Commentary Club, I'll be releasing our Tron episode, which has been a bit delayed due to Muppetry you heard about earlier. And what I'm doing on this week's show, I have no bloody idea. But last week, I did a tribute to the late, great Peter Straub.
Yes, did, and it was very good. Much appreciated. I like that. So, cool. Okay. And Darren, you promoting anything? Are you appearing on anything?
No, I'm doing absolutely sod all.
So you're available for weddings, parties, bar mitzvahs?
Yep. Or trips into like large wells to get gold coins. I'm available for that as well.
Yeah.
Can't climb a rope, save me life.
He's always good at grabbing a loincloth, is Darren. But anyway.
Oh, yes. Hello.
And hold on. We haven't had a sound effect yet. Hold on.
No.
Let's just. Oh, sorry. There you go. Thank you very much. Right. And yes, you will be able to hear me on the Shonky Lab, depending on how quickly Elton edits it. On Shonky Lab, talking about cues. Believe it or not. Which will be on rogue2media.com. Yeah, I don't know how. I'm not going to say too much about it because I don't know how much he's actually going to survive the edit. It was something of a tangential episode. Let's just put it that way. But yes, so that'll be coming up soon. Anyway, that's it for us. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Darren. Thank you, Jim.
No problem.
My pleasure.
Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you all next week, fully armed up with the whole host as we watch Hush. Until then, take care. Tatty bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Ta-la.
There's a voice that keeps on calling me. Down the road, it's where I'll always be. Every stop I make a new friend. Can't stay for long, just turn around and I'm gone again. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow, I'll just keep moving on.
Get out of the booth, Jack.
No, I like it in here.